What's up guys? In this week's video I want to talk about the best ways to get more fun out of your Miata. Now, Miatas in stock form are extremely fun, arguably one of the most fun cars to own. But if you drive it for a while, eventually you're going to want to step up your game. I'm going to talk about some of that stuff in this video. Suspension, brakes, power, safety, tires, kind of go through the whole car and give you guys some advice on the best bang for your buck upgrades. Now keep in mind, this is all my personal experience and is influenced by the modifications that I've done to my Miata. The number one thing that will make a Miata more fun is to get a girl in the passenger seat. Just kidding, we all know that's not true. And I know you think you're gonna trick out your car and you're gonna be rolling with your bros and stuff and you're gonna have to be like swerving everywhere because girls are gonna be just throwing their underwear and stuff at you. All they do is hit you and tell you to slow down. Okay, let's be serious. Let's talk about maintenance first, guys. Now I know when you first buy your Miata, the first thing you want to do is put XXRs on it, straight pipe it, plasti dip the windshield. I've seen it, okay? Tape up your headlights and try to make them look angry. Oh my god, I'm a Miata and I'm so angry. You want to take care of maintenance first. Now I know maintenance is one of the hardest things to do because it costs money and a lot of times you don't get any performance gains out of it. But trust me, in the long run, it's going to be worth it. I'm talking about things like bushings, seals, seal up that motor, make it reliable, replace your fuel filter, replace your spark plugs. I'm not going to throw those because I'll break them. It's a cooling hose, okay? A cooling hose can leave you stranded and they're so easy to replace. Miatas are easy to work on. Replace your cooling hoses, they're not expensive. Miatas can be extremely reliable. Mine has like 275 horsepower at the crank, almost 200,000 on the clock, and I drive it to work every single day. Change your oil regularly. I run Rotella T6 in mine like a lot of you guys. I'm not an oil scientist, I can't say it's the best, but my engine hasn't blown up yet. Let's talk about tires. A lot of people have the misconception that you need a big wide wheel and 225s to make your Miata handle well. Not enough people pay attention to tire compounds. Street tire on your stock wheels and outhandle someone on a wider tire that is not as sticky of a compound. I'm talking about tires like R11A, 8008R, RS3 version 2, BFG Rival. I've run most of those tires and they handle very well. Federals are cheaper and I've heard they have pretty flexy sidewalls, but they have good grip too, so if you're on a budget, Federals can work well. Think of it like playing football. Just because you show up to the field with gigantic shoes on doesn't mean you're gonna out-grip someone that's wearing cleats. Let's talk about suspension. Coilovers can be a more expensive purchase, but a lot of people prefer them over a spring and strut combo because you get a lot more adjustability and you can go lower. On the flip side, a spring and strut combo can offer a better ride and you might be able to save a little bit of money that way. I also recommend upgrading the front anti-sway bar. If you have an NA6 or even an NA8, you can upgrade to an NB anti-sway bar and get a little bit more response out of the steering. Drivetrain upgrades, such as a clutch. I'm not recommending you put a new clutch in your car. That's not really a bang for your buck upgrade. That's actually a lot of work to replace. But if you happen to be replacing your clutch, you can certainly spend a couple $100 and upgrade your flywheel to a lighter unit. Personally, I love my Fast and Furious downshifts. I do them everywhere. Let's talk about differentials. The easiest upgrade is if you have a 1.6 liter car and it has an open diff, you can buy a VLSD for very cheap. The torsion swaps are a little more expensive. Guys usually want between $600 and $900 for a complete swap, including axles and drive shaft. If you have a car with a 3.9 and plan on staying naturally aspirated, it may be beneficial to you to swap out to a 4.1, a 4.3. You can even, by Frankensteining diffs together, I heard out of a Kia, you can pull some parts and make yourself, I think it's a 4.8, your interior. I run a quick release wheel, but it's mostly just so it's easier to get in and out of my bucket seat. Why would you want to buy a bucket seat and a quick release wheel? A bucket seat is going to hold you in place while you're driving. As your car starts to handle better, you're going to notice that you're getting thrown all over the car in your seat going through the corners. It just makes it so you have to focus on holding yourself in place instead of just worrying about your driving. Now, an aftermarket steering wheel, along with a bucket seat, can help you set up your driving position. I've always been told that when you are going to do spirited driving, you should be able to have your seat against your seat back, be able to rest your wrists on your steering wheel, and be able to depress any of your pedals and still have a slight bend in your knee. You want to make sure your brakes are in line. That's very important, arguably one of the most important things, because it also falls into the category of safety. You don't have to go baller, you don't have to buy Willwoods. You can get OEM blank rotors, good quality pads, stainless steel lines, .4 fluid for maybe $400. Check out 949 Racing, goodwinracing.com, those are both good companies. On my car I run a proportioning valve. It is not necessary, but it does help you get the most out of your braking system. You can utilize the rear brakes more, which will stop the car faster and distribute some of the heat between the front brakes and the rear brakes. Along the lines of safety, you need to put a roll bar in your car. Even if you have a hardtop. The hardtop is not structural, guys, it's fiberglass. I've seen Miatas flip, the hardtop disappears, it disintegrates. If you plan on driving your car fast, especially in the canyons, you gotta get a roll bar. A side effect of roll bars is they stiffen the rear of the car up. It makes it feel much better. If you have a hardtop and a roll bar, I mean, the thing just feels amazing. No style bars. Do not put a style bar in your car. Spend the money, get a real roll bar. I have a hard dog in mine. Fitment is on par, and it's really an excellent quality product. Let's talk about horsepower. Again, this is more of a, how to make your car a little bit more fun video. So I'm not going to be covering things like engine swaps, turbos, stuff like that. If you have a 1.6 liter car, honestly it's really not worth it to be installing things like headers. You're not going to see much gain from it. If you really insist on trying to get the most power out of your 1.6, my honest opinion is just do intake, exhaust, mega squirt, get a dyno tune. That's about as much as you're going to get out of it without going forced induction. 1.8 liter cars have a few more options like the X-intake cam swap, head swap. If you have an NA8, you can put a 99 to 2000 head on it, get a little bit more power. You can even run a JDM square top manifold, but then you're starting to get into more complicated things and diminishing returns. And so what I advise is if you have a bone stock Miata and you want to get the most out of it, I would start with definitely a roll bar, put good street tires on it, put good suspension on it. Maybe a used set of coilovers even is going to be night and day over your 150,000, 200,000 mile suspension that you got on there, your stock suspension. If you're going to do a lot of aggressive driving, get your driving position right. You'll be surprised at how much of a difference it makes and how much more fun the car is when your interior is set up just the way you want it. Make sure your brakes are dialed in and be safe out there, guys. Drive your car. Drive the crap out of it. That's all I got for you this time. Guys, I got Twitter and Instagram, link in the descriptions. I just started a new Instagram for our local Miata club. Check that out. Don't forget to subscribe. New video every Friday. Every Friday. Miata stuff. You need more Miata stuff in your life. I know you do. Catch you next time.